Stephen Ambrose is known for bringing history to life. In his research for books about Eisenhower, Lewis and Clark, and the fighting men of World War II, he was impressed by the importance of friendships in the lives of these men. His latest book, Comrades, is a collection of essays on the nature of male friendship. He looks into the bonds that well-known men throughout history have developed. He also talks about his own relationships with his friends, his brothers, and his father. I am pleased to have Stephen Ambrose back on this program. Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
The perfect example of what you're talking about. I was at the Knick game the other night. I'm sitting next to, not to name drop, but I'm sitting next to Bill Bradley, presidential candidate.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Not to name, but it meant you got a good seat because Bradley gets a good seat. And sitting 2 seats in front of me is a colleague of mine over 60 Minutes, Ed Bradley. And I turned to Bill Bradley and I said, look at the two of them. These were two successful, very successful black men who I admire deeply. And the camaraderie between the two of them, and the sense of friendship, and the sense that these two people apparently to me, and I think because I've talked to both of them, shared something special. I turned to Bill and I said, look at this. I mean, this is what friendship is about. You know, we were looking at them from behind. And this is what this book is about, the bonding of men who come to know, respect, laugh, share with each other. Now, you saw it on the basketball court. You know, you see it certainly in battle, but you also see it in the everyday rhythms of life.
Certainly you do. Absolutely, yeah. And they're in unexpected places, but it's around us, and it is a special relationship that has no definition in law. Business partnerships do, marriage does, children and parents do, but not friendship. It's entirely voluntary. And you enter into a friendship because you want to. And when you're into a friendship, you don't cheat on your friend. You don't spy on them. And yet you don't have any secrets from them. And you support each other. And you are sad when the other guy's sad. And when he's failed at whatever he's tried, you're as downcast as he is.
And you're also tolerant and understanding of what their own imperfections are.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you know? Yeah. It's a sympathy, a loving, really, is what it comes to in the end. It is, you just love the other guy. Now, it could be that he's in a different profession than you are, or following a different career pattern, or you went to high school together and you haven't seen each other in 30 years. But you get back together after you've raised your kids and made your career, and you find it's as comfortable as putting on an old pair of shoes. Just talking to them, and what happened, and et cetera.
Now, what one of the combinations of friendships here, give me a couple of the ones that attracted you the most.
Lewis and Clark, first and foremost. But of course, Lewis and Clark are the most famous friends in our history, and they accomplished the most. Second to Lewis and Clark would be Eisenhower and George S. Patton.
Don't know much about that. Tell me.
Well, they won the Second World War for us. They had been friends since before the 1920s, right after World War I. And they remained so up until World War II started. And Patton, who was senior to Eisenhower, ended up serving under Eisenhower, but to friends that didn't make any difference. Now, in 1943, Patton slapped an enlisted man, back of the hand, who had been shell-shocked, but actually he was suffering from malaria. But in any event, generals oughtn't to go around slapping privates. They're going to catch holy hell for it, and Patton did. And Eisenhower removed him from the list of those who were going to lead us ashore into France in June of 1944, and put him in a role as a dummy, really, to fake the invasion.
Right. Can you make, in your observation, a general statement that take someone like Nixon, who didn't seem to have close friends?
Had none.
None.
He had none. His wife, in a sense, and his daughters were a wonderful father-daughter.
And what would you characterize someone like Bibi Rebozo?
Bibi sat there and Dick talked.
That's right.
That's what happened.
I know.
Yeah.
Someone said that's why I liked him, because he didn't talk back.
That's exactly why I liked him, yeah. Eisenhower came out of a meeting with Nixon once, and it was 1956, and Nixon wanted to be the vice presidential nominee once again, and Eisenhower was hesitant about it, and he dismissed Dick. And he came out of the office, and he said to his secretary, Ann Whitman, I don't understand how a man can go through life without any friends.
Yeah.
But Nixon did. He had a lot of acquaintance, millions, really, but he had no friends.
Do you
and he used to talk about that. He would say, now, a lot of guys in my position, they want somebody that they can express themselves to, that they can break down and cry with, that they can say, that son of a bitch, etc. Not me.
Do you think that male friendship is different than female friendship?
Sure, absolutely.
How so?
Well, because men and women are different.
Well, but men talk easier to women than they talk to men in many cases.
Yep,
Most men find it easier to talk to women than they do to other men, in terms of certainly vulnerabilities.
That's right, absolutely. And I can't speak for women. I don't know if it's harder or easier for them.
Well,
I know for men it is harder. It's also a lot harder for men to embrace each other, to hug each other, because our fetish against homosexuality is set.
I think that's changing, though, don't you?
Yes, it is changing.
I mean, I see more and more
for
people.
For my generation, exactly. It was very much there.
Almost every time you see a friend now, they're you know.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right. But that wasn't happening back in the 50s or 60s.
We haven't developed the kissing on the cheek yet, though.
No, we haven't. I think men are more likely to come out with what's really deep inside of them and how they react to something. A lot less than women are.
Right.
But when they do it, dare I say it, there's more there.
Yeah. I don't know that's true. I mean, it seems to me that what it is that I don't know that there's a difference. I know that my impression, I don't know anything about this, that my impression is that women are more open each other. I mean, when you go to a restaurant and you watch two women talk, they talk a lot. I mean, women have my observation, and it's sophomoric, but they talk, they communicate with each other. I mean, just listen. You go to people when you're at a restaurant. The other thing, though, is that about male friendship, it is not so much different from women, but it is unique in that it is so, in a sense, strong in its element of support.
Very strong in the element of support. That's absolutely right. And also in doing things.
Right.
In forming a team and operating together and agreeing with each other, or seeing the other guy's point of view when you are not in agreement with each other. But it's all directed towards action. Doing things. And that's one of the places in which male friendships are different than female friendships.
This is also about the brothers, fathers, heroes, sons, and pals. Eisenhower. Milton Eisenhower. Dwight David Eisenhower. Who else?
Well, George Patton was he was very, very close to Bradley. I didn't write about Eisenhower and Bradley in this book, but he was very close to Bradley. And then in his politics, he was very close to certain people. First of all, in the Army, most of all, George Marshall, whom he regarded as virtually a saint. In politics,
Marshall chose him for his role.
That's right, yeah. In politics, the people that he put on his cabinet, Herb Brownell comes immediately to one's tongue. Yeah. God, he admired those guys, and he loved playing golf with them, and he loved going quail hunting with them, and he loved spending his vacations with these guys. He liked to exchange with them, not political views, of course, but he also wanted to talk to them about quail hunting, about golfing, about the things that they did together.
Yeah,
and wives.
That's an interesting observation about male friendship, is that there's frequently conversation about things they do.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
This book is called Comrades, Brothers and Fathers, Heroes, Sons and Pals. Stephen Ambrose. We'll be right back. Stay with us.